My darlings, how are you all doing? Getting ready for the Christmas vibe. So, I spoke to you just over a week ago, and we're very much going to continue in that same energy. So, I think I will have come to you the last time for the full moon in Taurus. And this is what is the main thing in the papers going on. We are beginning the civil war, the agricultural war, Uranus in Taurus. Last time Uranus was in Taurus was for World War II, and after World War II, farming, there was the rise of the production of cows and mass cow farming because there was the food shortage during the war, and in a way it seems like it was all preparation for now to slaughter the cow, to kill the heart passage. We're no longer on the mercy severity pillars. We're no longer on the Boaz Jachin solar lunar pillars. As if you've been following my last videos, you will know that the Saturn and Jupiter conjunctions make a trigone in an element, and they change element every 250 years. So we're now fully in the new element of Earth that began in 1981 in Virgo for the triple conjunction. So that's Mercury. Then in Taurus in 2000, that's Venus. And then in Capricorn for COVID 2020. And now we're officially in Earth. So World War II was in the 40s, the last time that Uranus was in Taurus. And it was in the sign of Venus and building up for that last Saturn and Jupiter conjunction. So there will have been one in the 40s, and then there was one in Sagittarius. And now Saturn, Mercury, and Venus take over the middle pillar. So the middle pillar is the lamppost, it's the spine, it's the liberty pole. It's Saturn, Venus, and Mercury, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, the triple goddesses. Earth. So there's nothing fancy and emotional about the triple goddesses. Virgo is she's got a broken heart. She is the rural girl, which has turned into the uber Lara Croft. She is the height of fertility, and she's also the virgin. She is the whore and the virgin, and she's ruled by Mercury. Then there's the cow, the gentle cow, Venus, Taurus, the heart passage. And then there's Saturn, and Saturn is he's material. He rules Capricorn. He's the government in Capricorn. There's nothing eloquent or cultivated or showy, because that belongs to Jupiter, the sun. Venus has culture and aesthetic value as well. But if you're use Saturn on the dark side and you use Venus in the dark side, then you've got the seductive, flirting, material Venus. So this is what they're accentuating with the rise of the farmers right now, and they have been provoked. Last Saturday I did a quick video that you may have seen on YouTube. I'll take you back over it afterwards, where 83 cows were slaughtered for lumpy skin disease, which is Lucy in the sky with diamonds. So LSD, Lucy in the sky with diamonds. This is when Mercury and Venus meet at the lamppost. That is Saturn, the middle pillar, to light the third eye. And this is exactly what we've got going on astrologically. So I was just looking to see what was going on So we're going to be looking at the Saturn and Neptune conjunctions, because we've already had one, they met, and now then in July, and then they've moved away, and they're going over this very important gap between Pisces and Aquarius, which is the true spring break. It's the true north, it's the true lamb, it's the true thalamus, it's the true lamb, not the lamp, like the lamb. So that is the true lamb, and Mercury will be doing his next retrograde. He's now just going over his shadow between Scorpio and Libra. So he did water, air, and he's going to do Pisces, water, mutable water, back to Aquarius, exactly where Saturn and Neptune have just done their dance. And Chiron, Mr. Tumnus, has just, mainstream astrology is saying, Neptune was at the last degree of Pisces and is going to go back into Aries. Well, Chiron, Mr. Tumnus, is doing that currently. So every 36 years, Neptune and Saturn meet, and they haven't met since 1989. We're going to be talking about that. So they killed 83 cows. Everybody was sprayed. 8 and 3 is 11. And now they've just killed 207 cows. 7 and 2 is 9. And that makes 9/11. And that's where we are. This is civil war. This is the casquette. This is all my region, the GERS, the 32nd department, the 32 paths of wisdom. And everybody was gassed because Libra, Venus is high cardinal gas, and Taurus, the cow, is earth. And that's why they're saying that the cow farts is creating the methane, because that's how the old lamps, the old gas lamps were lit. This is how gaslighting came in. So they are doing the ultimate gaslighting to push all the reptilian brain torch pan, Mr. Tumnus, who is going to be meeting Lucy, the simple girl, the Virgo, La Marianne, and the revolution, the civil war is coming in. So let's have a look at these cycles, and let's also just check out. So in the last time there was the Saturn Neptune conjunction was in 1989. We were in full Thatcher days. The Iron Curtain, which had divided Europe since 1946, was beginning to lift, and the Cold War was coming to a close. Below are just some major 1989 events, and more can be found in our archive. So I'll be showing you what I wrote about this. It was the year that I left London and went to live isolated in France. So I went to a very old abbey with the big church. So that's Neptune and Saturn. Saturn is it was a 7th century abbey. And I was there then isolated. I came straight from being isolated my whole childhood with my mum. And then I was just beginning to go out into the world. And that's why my mum and my ex-husband, they were worried, because, you know, she'd sold me as being a retarded girl that had to be married in order to save me. But I had in 6 months got my O and A levels and was about to get a job in Sotheby's, and I was suddenly realizing that my husband wasn't as clever as he said he was, because I was fanatical about modern art, and I'd become the teacher's pet in my A levels, and all of a sudden I was not the stupid girl I had been locked up as my mother. That was her excuse. You know, the big narcissist, and then sold to my husband. And that was the triggering of my mother. So we're going to living all this same Saturn Neptune energy coming up now. It's where you have to get through your illusions, and it's the whole, this is really the crow and the fox. It's the meeting at the lamppost every 36 years, Saturn and Neptune. So you can see it was the falling of the Cold War, Iron Curtain. We had Margaret Thatcher, to honour the passengers of the Pan Am Flight 103 who died in the Lockerbie air disaster. Well, there you've got Pan taking over from Capricorn. You know, Capricorn is Saturn. We've now got Saturn, Venus and Mercury, and this is Pan, and 1-3 is the bee, the 13th sign, which is all what is going on right now. I'm going to show you in a minute on Stellarium. So we've also, somebody was sent me, we've got that comet Atlas 31. Atlas is, you know, it's your neck and throat, that's Taurus, and this comet, I spoke a lot about it when it was first came out, but that again, it's just 1331. 74 people in the Boeing 737-400 crashes into an M1 embankment. January the 14th, the city or so. You can see this was the last Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. Comedian actor John Cleese wins a court case against British tabloid The Daily Mirror, publishing about his alleged behaviour during filming of the hit movie A Fish Called Wanda. So I've been over that film. The Wand of Merlin, A Fish Called Wanda, The Wand of the Merlion. Dali, Illusion, Saturn and Neptune Conjunction. Princess Wales on her first visit without Prince Charles. The Soviet-Afghan war ends. So it was the build-up before the crash as well. Before the financial crash, there was the war that was in 1991. Iceland's beer prohibition. Okay, well, I'm not, you know, you can, the Oscars for Best Picture was Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? And Rain Man. Football fans die when Liverpool play Nottingham due to overcrowding at the stadium, dubbed. So the crowding, the barriers, they got squashed by the barriers, wasn't it? That Saturn and, you know, Neptune overcrowding. Saturia, the Duluth to a Saturia tornado kills an estimated again 1-3. 1,300 people and injures 12,000 more. Margaret Thatcher becomes the first British prime. Hang on, have I done a wrong year? What year am I looking at here? No. This is 1989, my God. It seems so far away. I was thinking I must be 10 years off. No, this is, I was isolated in France by this time, and you know, it was the big shock for my mother. She realized that the fox had seduced her to drop the cheese, and she had thought that she was going to live with my husband and we were all going to live happily and she would be able to prance around with us. We all went on holiday together, and suddenly we were gone and she was on her own in London. And she realised that she'd been tricked, which led to her cancer. And she died at the age that I am now for her Saturn return. Okay, so you get the gist, 1989. So I'm going to take you, we're going to go off. I mean, I'm sure there's really big things. East Berlin, 500,000 people gather to protest against communist rule in East Germany. Tiananmen Square and Tiananmen Square, Beijing. So that was the time. Now look at China. That was when they protested and they martyred, and the students, remember the student in front of the tank? Well, we're going to live all this, and this time it's our turn to go into this, you know, look at the social, what has happened with social credit and everything that has come. The democracy went from China. So this is the next step, is us. That's where we are. So let's look at now And let me try to explain to you, because I explain and I always feel like people don't get it. So here we have Mercury and Venus, Lucy and Mr. Tumnus. Mercury is finishing, he's finished his retrograde. So he had come from November. So in November, he was in Scorpio and he went into Libra. And we had the new moon in Libra. That was the new moon there on the 20th. That was the new moon. And then we didn't have a new moon in Scorpio. We didn't have a new moon in Scorpio. We're going to go straight. So that was the 20th of November. And we're now going to have the next new moon. And it's going to be right in the heroes. D'Artagnan and all my region is now, I haven't, you'll see some of the pictures, but you've got to see the amount of cow shit that is just piled. The whole of the capital, Auch, has been blocked. So here's little Mercury. Today we're the 13th and Mercury is still in Libra. So good thing I did the video today and not a few hours later, because I still will have a little bit more clarity, because that will be in a trine to my Mercury and Venus in Aquarius, because Venus is now in detriment in Scorpio and Mercury is about to join her, and Mars has just moved for the last quarter. So all this chaos began for the last quarter moon. The moon was in Leo and the moon was making a square. So the people is making a square to Taurus, making a square to Taurus, to Uranus, where we've got Uranus doing his last journey back to AlgOl. And what do we have? The christening of Prince Andrew's granddaughter, who is called Athena. And Athena is Medusa AlgOl. She is the waress. She is the fighter. She's also the peace. She's Venus. And this is what they're rising with the cows and the burning of the cows and the baptism of Athena. So Uranus under the Seven Sisters, right under the Seven Sisters, right under the Seven Sisters. I showed everybody in my Patreon. So I showed everyone in Patreon, but if you can see, okay, so we won't be able to see. I have to show you just the pictures. Shooting in Auch. Let's get it. So there was a shooting at the number 7. So the Seven Sisters, Pleiades. And let's see if we can just see the images. So you can see the images. They show you the Pleiades. Okay, it's taking me back there. You can see, I'll make the pictures a bit bigger for you to see. You can see this is the number 7 house, and this woman who was 58 years old, Venus, and her house was attacked. And that is how they show you that it's going to get wild. So military shooting, and they show you all the Pleiades. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you. And that all happened, that I think that was for the full moon in Taurus. And now for that, we've got Uranus. So Uranus under Pleiades, the last time that Uranus was here in Taurus was 1941. It was the last time that Uranus was bang under here, and it's that same energy that is building up, but this time it's civil war. This time it's the planet of the axe. This is the most brutal. This is Saturn This is the most base energy of Taurus 2025. So this is the cycle of Uranus, and we've got Jupiter under the Lord of the Rings. So he is coming up closer and closer. So right now as I speak, and for this new moon coming up, so on this new moon on the 20th, he's going to be right underneath Pollux. Right, and he's on his way back to Sirius, and Mercury, the ruler, will be for that 20th back in Scorpio. Venus will be on the knee of the 13th sign, and Mars will be conjunct. So this new moon, the moon will be on the dart of D'Artagnan. So this is really rising. This is the attack to Europe, as Mercury is going to be bang square to Uranus. I'm going to show you the charts in a minute, but I just want to just do a general look now, and we're going to look more as I go through the posts. So let's go and look at Neptune. So Neptune and Saturn, we've got this little trine and two sextiles. We've got this capstone going on between Saturn and Neptune at the point, and Uranus in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn. And this has been lasting for a long time, and we've now got Jupiter opposite Pluto, and we've got at the moment Mercury opposite Uranus. So here Saturn is now direct, as is Neptune. So here's Neptune, and Saturn is on his way back. And for the Valentine fertility festival, which is Lupiac, the home of D'Artagnan, is, so we'll be into the year of the horse. D'Artagnan, who kills the snake, and there Saturn is getting closer and closer. So the fertility festival, 13, 14, 15, 16 is the day the sun enters Aquarius. We're going to have Mercury and Venus all in Aquarius at the Lamb, on the lamp, the Lamb of God, and Saturn and Neptune conjunct on the, this is the cycle of Venus. The cycle of Venus makes the shape of the whale's tail, and we've got Will I Am. We had for the full moon on the 5th, we had Germany and England meet at Windsor Castle. Will I Am, Aries, and this is all for this build-up. So at that time, Saturn and Neptune will be conjunct on the Will I Am telltale splash. So you just saw what was going on the last time they were conjunct. So they were conjunct this summer. There they were conjunct this summer, and now back to this February, they're going to be conjunct again. So they're marking the true gap that we're in between the home of Jupiter and the home of Saturn, as Jupiter is in Gemini, air, so he can crown himself on Sirius, the keeper of the four corners, and right now he's under Pollux, that is the Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings, and we've got all the fighters. They could, you know, this could be a very short, violent spell of civil war attack, just like in World War II. This is about nationalism. This is about my territory. This is about the most base energy of Taurus, animalistic. That's what the film The Visitors was all about, the French film where the people from the Middle Ages came back to claim their castles in a time machine, and no one's got any teeth. And, you know, that's where I live. Where I live is rough. So they won't be able to stop what's going on with the cows, because just like in the fights in China lost everything, you know, they're now, and this is the last, you know, France is the last country in Europe where you can live, hang out in the cafe, eat real cheese, eat real food. It's going to become totally Americanized. I just saw a quick little documentary about the other side of the south of France. It's already like that. The last place that has this rural energy is where I live. So it's basically an attack on the cow, on the heart, on Diana, just like I've been explaining to you that I've been looking at the sacrifices from Marilyn Monroe for the last great conjunction in Sagittarius, and then Grace Kelly for the 1981, she died in 1982, Paula Yates and Paul Hutchinson and Princess Diana for the 2000 great conjunction. And you know, there are so many, from Amy Winehouse afterwards, and all these sacrifices to fully take over the earth energy. And now what have they done? They've built up, since World War II, the, you know, agricultural, and now they can kill all the cows. So they're killing the birds and the cows. What are the birds and the cows? They are Venus in Libra, air, and Venus in Taurus, the hearts. Put my little table down a bit so I can show you more. Okay, so Jupiter is in Gemini. This is the only way he can access air, to be the hare, H-A-R-E, there's the hare, or hare. He's not the true heir. The true heir is, so we're going to have Mercury pan at the lamppost, at this gap of the true spring break, and Saturn and Neptune conjunct. Mars will be exalted in Capricorn, and then we will have, it will officially be the great conjunction on the 20th, and we'll have Venus on the true Lamb of God, and we'll have Mercury right just in Pisces in the gap. He probably moves over that day. Yeah, on that day, the 19th, he's in Aquarius, and he moves over an hour later. He's in Pisces on the 19th. He moves over, and Saturn and Neptune completely combust. So this is, you know, everything is timed with the cycles of the planets. By that time, Uranus will be as far back as it can go to reach AlgOl, to rise Athena, and Jupiter will be fully back on Sirius, and then it's countdown to the summer solstice, to rise William. I said in my Patreon rundown, I looked at the chart of William, and it's all, I said, Harry's coming back. Harry's going to come back. There's, you know, this is all about, and Meghan Markle was born on the day that Marilyn Monroe died, on the 4th of August in 1981, for the great triple conjunction. She is the new woman energy. So let me take you to some posts. Okay, just to remind you, so we've got Uranus opposites all these planets. So let's have a look. So for this new moon on the 20th, we lose the big oppositions that Uranus has been doing now to get all this going. So there's this change in energy, a dramatical change in energy from the full cold moon. So we'll just go over them. There exists a service interruption on the web. Wow. Is that possible? Why is that? Okay, so you see, for the full moon, we had Uranus and the moon, the people, that energy rising, and we had the opposition of Uranus and Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, and we had Jupiter opposite Pluto. And I said that is giving that energy, that rise of the people and Jupiter's going to be he's going to go back to Sirius, but then he's going to come into Cancer, so he's going to be playing with Pluto for a long time. But that was the first taste of impregnating Jupiter with this energy, as Mercury, the ruler, was in the home of Venus, and Venus rules Taurus, where the moon is. So Venus was in Scorpio by now, in detriment, as Mercury is in the home of Venus and the moon is in the home of Venus. And there is this big opposition to Venus, this vengeance energy to, and Mars too, all this big opposition. So that opposition fades away with the last quarter moon, third quarter moon. So we still have that opposition of Uranus and Mercury, as Mercury's still in Scorpio. So no, Mercury's actually still in Libra for the 11th, but they'll still just be opposite. And the moon is square to all these planets in Scorpio, square to that north node in Aquarius, and making a T-square, this big T-square between Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. So we've got a full fixed cross, Scorpio, Taurus. So what happens on the fixed cross? You've got to get through the O. You've got to get through the Philosopher's Stone to go from St. Andrew's Cross through onto the fixed cross. You've got to get through O, l'histoire d'O. So that's what the capital of my region is, GERS, where William and Kate came in 2016. It's called Auch. O. It's spelled AUCH, but if you listen, it's water. It's O. It's the O. It's the O. This is the 13th sign passage through. It's the heart. It's Taurus. Taurus, the heart to the all-seeing eye. If you light that lamppost with the cow shit, with the methane, without the heart, then you're just gaslighting the lamb. That's not the true lamb. The lamb, the lion lies down with the lamb, and the moon that rules the lamb, Cancer, was in Leo, square to Scorpio, the sun in Scorpio. Okay, I was filming and I was talking and I wasn't filming, so I'll just go over that so you can see how the energy has changed. We don't have those big oppositions between Uranus with all the planets in Scorpio. We've now got Sun, Moon, New Moon and Mars in the rebels, in the Robin Hoods, in the heroes, Sagittarius, as Pluto is opposite the ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter is still retrograde on Pollux, Lord of the Rings, and Mercury that rules Gemini is in Scorpio, as is Venus in detriment. So all those vengeance energy rising to make as animalistic as possible for these Robin Hood heroes was there. We've still got, so we've hang on a sec. Wow, we no longer have, oh yes we do, there it is. So we've got the two capstones, one between Pluto Uranus pointing to Neptune and Saturn, and the other one now Jupiter to Uranus and to Neptune and Saturn. So Jupiter, everyone says he's now in Cancer. He's not. He is in Gemini, the home of Mercury, and he is taking his place as the heir. As the heir, Jupiter, ruler of where the new moon is. Opposite Pluto, in the government, Capricorn, the government, the home of Saturn. So Mercury rules Virgo, Venus rules Taurus, and Saturn rules Capricorn. And these are the triple goddess women. Female energy, this is Earth. That's why they say that the cow fart illuminates the lamp, the lamb, when the true lamb is here, form a halt. And we've got this build up for the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction that will be right here where Saturn and Neptune are now, as Saturn will move to be next to Neptune. They're all going to be on the lamppost of Mr. Tumnus. Okay, so we've spent half an hour and I'm now just going to show you some posts. So we're going to go down in the order of right now. So 32 paths of wisdom, 32 makes 64. This is all along the motorway of the 64 that we've got this fighting going on. When I am 64, GERS. 32, William Kate came to Auch in 2016, ACA 216, Summer Solstice, his birthday, when 16-2, so P is 16, B is 2, Paddy Bear is the Spring Ascendant. Now this is to rise the green line, which is in between the P and the B, red and blue, magnetic electric, the Taurus torso field holds the heart, the cow is killed, and the green line takes over because the solar lunar pillars have fallen, the two sides of the torso field. But if your heart is in place, you've activated, that's what COVID was about, leaving that space. They were saying, okay, activate your torso field because we're going to be killing the cow. We're going to be getting rid of your physical, you have to have, you know, made the connection from heart to head, 88 constellations. Mercury takes 88 days to go around to make a cycle. So, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Prince Wales, Splash. So, yeah, this conjunction on the 20th of February is 2-2. February is 2, 20 is 2, and that is BB back to black officially. Okay, so the rest I've said. So that's the front page of the newspapers today. The anger is rising in the GERS. And here the image that they show you is of the candle. So the cow, the heart, is the only way to light the flame, your third eye, the Christmas tree, the spine, the liberty pole. This is how do you light your flame. So this is a lovely image from Paul. Paul is going to be my guest on Patreon next week. He is a master of Kabbalah. He's such a lovely man. I just know him from Facebook and his YouTube channel, but he's got that lovely Lars energy, and I look forward to talking to him. So that image, just, you know, you can see that they're talking about the Kabbalah. They're showing you the heart and the flame as above. The ancient wisdom shows a relationship between man, the earth, and the flame of life. The head of man, the white light of the flame, the atmosphere of earth are one thing by the law of correspondence. The times require only one remedy, a change in consciousness. So I like, he's got the lion gates, that's Auch, where they're all the farmers are coming, where Prince William came, that's where the lion gates are. So 207, that is 9, and 83, that's 11. They're telling us 9/11, dingle-lingle. So fire and the cow to light the flame. Come on, baby, light my flame. This is a film. Athena, the name of the new granddaughter of Prince Andrew. So they show you here, that is the area that's now being hit in France, where I am, Ariège and the Landes, and they will be crossing all France. So this is the last kind of rural energy. This is all the Pyrenees, the mountains. And this is your O on the fixed cross, and that's why they're all at Auch. And you saw that this new moon, or the first quarter moon, was completely on the fixed cross. So there's your 777, Aleister Crowley rising, and lo and behold, yesterday in the papers, the theatre, the hidden theatre of Auch has been reopened, and it was first opened 50 years ago. It's got Italian. So 50 is the amount of days that Venus is hidden between being the morning and the evening star. So lumpy skin disease is called dermatose nodulaire in French. And there is the 50 days. They're showing you Venus as the cow is being killed. So I would imagine the 207 and 83 amount of cows killed, if you add 207 and 83, there's going to be something to do with this Venus going on. So the story of O, this is the passage we're going through. It's just the Philosopher's Stone, which is just the mutable, the fixed, and the cardinal cross as one. In the name of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, you know, this is just showing you the spirit that encircles when you find the mutable, the fixed, and the cardinal cross. You light your flame. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. And I wanted to add the image of the three crosses, that the fixed cross is the circle in the middle. It makes the vesica Pisces, the passage through. So there's Kate and William. They came to where I am in Auch in 2016. When I'm 64, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and my region, 32 Paths of Wisdom, makes the 5-pointed star. Okay, again, so the man running this all is called JB, obviously. They've blocked the A64, so we've got in France the A69 being blocked, and now the A64. And this is JB, the Boaz Jachin pillars. So Neptune and Saturn conjunction will be on the Will.I.am whale's tail, which is the cycle of Venus. So this bloke is called Camille Bonne. That's your 32 again. C is 3, B is 2. 44 is the wheels within wheels. It is the 4-4 four-wheel drive, as Uranus is underneath the Seven Sisters. 32 Paths of Wisdom, and that is where we are. We've got the capstone, we've got Saturn and Neptune, Uranus and Pluto. So they're killing the birds and the cows, middle pillar. Because Jupiter, he is the Joker. He is Mr. Tumnus meeting Lucy, Jack and Rose at the lamppost. So these are this little video I did last Saturday. The Coco Chanel 33, the Vesica Pisces, the myth of the Coco Chanel lampposts. Mr. Tumnus, the umbrella is the astrological wheel. We go from 12 signs, Leo da Vinci, to 8. The umbrella opens and shuts. That is the sigil of Lucifer, which is your ability to perceive from full expansion Jupiter to full contraction. There is a middle way, and that is Ophiuchus, that rises his arms between. So the last Saturn and Neptune conjunction in 1989, we didn't even go to see it, was in Sagittarius. So it was in Sagittarius as Neptune. So Neptune and Saturn. Let's get the exact dates. So it was the 16th of, or around the 16th of the 11th. I've got it in my, we had Venus there as well, right on the L. So that's how he takes over from Saturn. L on the elbow, noon key. And it was in Sagittarius. So Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Jupiter rules Pisces. So this is how he can take over the illusion in Pisces. That's, you know, It's Chiron. Chiron is when the last key of the mutable cross is closed. And so climate change is apparently from the farts of cows, not from, you know, the cow is the heart, it's earth, it's the mother. So I told you this summer the lamp, the mother lamp was lit in Marciac, where they have the Jazzin Marciac JM festival every summer. The thalamus, the lamb, and there's your red noddy hat with the upside down crown and the coiled kundalini. The lamb of God, the thalamus, and this is about this last video I did about the destructor lamp. It's called the destructor lamp. They said that the lamp is lit from the hotels when everyone wakes up in the morning. There's so many people going to the loot. They said that that is what lights the lamp. So that's how everyone's being controlled. They are gaslit. That's the whole, you know, that's the whole narcissistic Fox and the Crow thing. London's last surviving sewer gas destructor lamp. Through the apple to rise, the Union Jack. How did Jack on the Beanstalk get the, what did he do to get the beans? He bought the beans, he sold his cow. He sold his cow and he got a bag of beans that he planted in the garden that let him climb to the top to get the gold. So he sold the heart. He sold the cow. This is Jack in the box. What happens at Saint-Jacques-Compostelle? Everyone has to, at every stop, they have to go and touch Venus, and it's upside down. There's Jacques de Compostelle between the pillars, but the Mercy pillars have fallen down. There's no more lunar solar. You know, he's crowning himself as that central torso, green line. He is the jolly green giant. He's the green man. The three crosses, mutable, fixed and cardinal, and they've got St. Patrick, the Joker, in the middle. Jack and Rose, Mr. Bean, what the beans? The beans is what you need to create. The B is the heart, lebab, or the bean. If you sell the heart, all you're left is with the bean. So always the cows are with these eggets, these stalks. You will always have the eye and the heart together. Venus rules air and earth. Is your heart heavier than the feather? And there is Jack, and what are they wearing? The blackberry of Where I Live. And he sells the cow and takes the beans. And there he is with the red hat. There is the sun and the moon, the solar lunar pillar, and in the middle you have the air and the cow, and you've got Jupiter right now on Proctocol. I can't pronounce it. I should go and Procyon, little dog here. So this is when, that's 1989. 1989. Jupiter is now on Procyon. This little dog. And the snake, Scorpio, Mercury. So you got the snake, scorpion, the dog, the knife, and killing the cow. The gas lamp lie, the lamppost. Okay. So we're just going to trundle along and looking at the most. So this is an important post. So what's this? Human ignorance, it is at its most complete. The cow, earth, heart, solid, fixed Venus, and the sky, heaven, gas, cardinal Venus rules the cow, Taurus, and Venus rules the sky, air, Libra. Lucy in the sky with diamonds, LSD, lumpy skin disease, air and earth is the middle class pillar. the central narrow path, the liberty pole axis of your Christmas tree spine. You light the flame or you are gaslit. It's an alchemical stunt to ignite the gas lamp of Lucifer. So I'll explain when I do my video. That's what I'm doing. All news is just the 4 directions. Uranus and Taurus 2024 to 2033 with retrogrades, just like in World War II. And here we go. This video, it shows you. They even show you the star of Ishtar, and they show you the fireworks and Lucy in the sky with diamonds. So this is basically the cow, Earth, the celestial goddess with her crown. And that is what's being killed. So yeah, that was just a post about ChatGPT that somebody posted. I let you read that, but I mean, it really is a crisis. It really is a crisis because everybody thinks that they can just get their readings from ChatGPT, and the main attack is for the astrologers. So this woman says, I say my bit. You can stop the video and read what I say. This woman says, I'm a professionally trained astrologer, spent 2 years in the academy with a world famous published astrologer. At any given moment, I can tell you exactly what is happening in both my tropical and sidereal charts with transits and secondary progressions. What the AI was telling me was almost entirely a hallucination. The more questions I asked, the worse it got. And then my friend says, Lynn, AI is in the phase where it acts like your friend and speaks a lot of truth to get you to trust it. Then it uses all the info it gathered on you to start manipulating you. But by now you trust it and assume it's still on your side. The singularity in full force. Yeah, basically, I just don't understand why anybody would want to talk to a computer. Just picks for me to do a video. So here we are doing the video. The cow is the milk, the Klim, the busy, the kiss of Gustav Klimt. That's why the eagle sung the kiss of death. You've got Gustav Klimt is all the women in the flame. They're orange. They're the flame being lit. Neil Klim is milk, is the journey into the underworld. The icon, Dori, fertility of earth. The moon goddess is the cow, Taurus Diana. That's why both Diana and Grace was sacrificed in France. So Diana was sacrificed under the tunnel, and for the dirty sow, the breast of Venus, Taurus, and Grace Kelly on the top of the mountain as the celestial, American and English. She is the Lucy BAAL. BAAL is the baleine, which is the whale's tail. Baleine. They want her fertility to gas, so the great ball of fire. Okay, just more pictures. You got your heart, Taurus, 2 light. This is the middle pillar now. The Vache qui rit, Ophiuchus on the Milky Way. So Scorpio, Taurus, the Milky Bar Kids, and that is your Ophiuchus. So in that article, they were saying, afterwards, new machines and chemicals help farmers grow more crops. The government created programs to use extra crops to help poor people and other countries. In 1973, the year of the ox, obviously, farmers got help by not growing food on some of their land. So it's all been this preparation since World War II. So Jack and the Beanstalk, you know that. I think that I don't need to show you these pictures again. Are they all the same? Probably. So we can move on. Okay. Lumpy cow disease, Lucy in the sky. They even show you the Star of Ishtar. Okay, so there, they show you the Star of Ishtar. Just like that helicopter plane crash they had over the Atlantic Ocean. Look at all those Lucy in the sky with diamonds. So they're really gaslighting everybody. So everyone really liked this post where basically, I don't know, people seem to really get it. Saturn, Neptune meet again. You've had from 1989 to 2026 to break out of the illusions. That's 36 years. It's a cycle of 360. Saturn will remove all dinosaurs that still can't see Mr. Tumnus is not the true Lamb of God. He steals Lucy the child. 20th of February 2026, Venus, Lucy, Mercury, Mr. Tumnus meet at the true spring Lamb Aquarius Fomalhaut. You will be swallowed by artificial monsters of the id if you still can't see through the deceptions of the old world. The id, Neptune, is the ID. It is the core, the body of id, id, ah. It is, you have Osis and Isurus, the two ends of the Milky Way snake, which is the tropics. We're leaving Cupid and Valentine, Romulus and Remus, and we're moving on to the feminine axis. So now it's no longer the body of Christ, but it's the body of Isis. It's no longer Osiris, it's Isis. It's feminine. So the core, the body of Ida, it's Florida. It's the floor, the gut of Ida. The id, the ID is the core corridor. It's the corridor. It's the coriander. That's why they have coriander all over the fields here. Can you see through the deceptions of the old world? Saturn, constriction, boundaries, responsibility, fear, contraction, and Neptune, escapism, transcendence, illusions, imagination, ethereal realm. Saturn, Neptune were last conjunct in 1989 in Sagittarius, in the home of Jupiter, with Uranus also in Sagittarius. This is when I left England to come to live in France, and my son, 3 years old, was convinced he was D'Artagnan Sagittarius. Jupiter, ruler of Sagittarius, so yeah, I'm going to put all that so you can see. And so that was the year 1989 that I left London. 15th of July, we had the Saturn Neptune conjunction. Now Saturn's gone back, marking this passage. At that time, okay, so that was 2026. They're going to meet again on the 20th. That was the 6/20. It was the Summer Solstice, and there was Uranus with them in Sagittarius. That is the 20th of February, the next time they meet. Going to have a big planetary lineup. Look at that. And that is my son dressed as D'Artagnan, and you may remember that my engagement ring that was given to me was given to my ex-husband's, so to my husband's great-great-grandmother was the lover, the mistress of Alexandre Dumas fils, who wrote D'Artagnan. And my first big lover, who's remained my greatest friend of all time, we may end up living together one day, is D'Artagnan, the guy I met who I would have committed suicide if I didn't have him to get through my divorce. And I just, when I first met him, I said, you are D'Artagnan d'amour. So D'Artagnan's always been a scene in my life, and now I live next to him. So what's that? That was this summer. Oh yeah, so this summer, Venus was on the bullseye for the Saturn Neptune conjunction. And for the next Saturn Neptune conjunction, Venus will be on Fomalhaut. So really, the two energies of Venus. Lars always says Venus's true home is Aquarius, and I'm born with Venus, Mercury, and the Moon all in right there where they are there. So we're going to have North Node, so important, the North Node Sun for the conjunction. I mean, you know, that is the true lamppost. Okay, so these pictures, Saint-Saturnin. So what I think is that Saint-Martin is when we are in the elements of fire and water, then Saint Martin takes over. And when we're in the element of earth and air, then Saturn takes over. So this is symbolic. Now we are killing the cow, but when we come into the ages of water and fire, the cow kills Saturn, the saint, the man. You know, Aquarius is the only man. He is the Indians. It's cowboys and Indians. You know, Taurus, bulls. So it's always this Jupiter and Saturn war when we're changing elements. So not only are we changing elements this time, we're ending a great cycle. So it's really important. But you know, the last time we had this change of element was William the Conqueror, Guillaume le Conquérant, 1066. So it's 1,000 years to go through the Saturn-Jupiter conjunctions in the 4 elements. Right. I just let you look at the pictures, but we're going to move on. Okay. So that was just on the 11th of December. I will add this to... So, you know, in France, English people are called ROSE beef, roast beef, but they use rose, and rose is pink. So when they say that we're in the rose line, and, you know, Aleister Crowley, the New Age, the rose is pink, and pink is the virgin. It's not the true mother rose. So I think we're going to have pretty much the same pictures there. I will maybe just have a few more of BAAL. So look, they show you the breast of Venus. See, for this 11th of December, which you just had, you know, it really is, Mars had just come onto the dart. And it's all this passage of the Milky Way to rise Ophiuchus. So the sun is in Ophiuchus, Venus is in Ophiuchus, and Mars is just in Sagittarius. Holding the fertility, the snake. This is the Jack on the beanstalk. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. So diamond is derived from the English word diamond, which has its roots in the Greek word adamas, meaning unconquerable or invincible. So they put a dead baby cow on the gates. The birth of Venus. So this is birthing Athena. Jacques de Compostelle is always with his shell, and with Venus... And God created woman, and we've got Andrew and his grandchild Athena, and she's called Elizabeth Rose Athena, or Athena or Elizabeth Rose, or maybe that was the first. I've got the name somewhere. The birth of Venus, Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Is it here that I have? So that's why we've had all the police, the military training here. Is it here that I've got the pictures of... with his casquettes. Okay, so don't forget, vaccine originally came from the Latin word vacca, or more commonly to us, the French word vache, meaning cow. It was named after the first successful vaccine was developed from cowpox as a treatment for smallpox. So when was it that cowpox came out? What year? I did look at this the other day, and it was all... The first description of cowpox was given by Jenner in 1798. So what vaccine. The smallpox was the most frequent in the 1970s. Somebody was telling me about an injection given to the women, and this woman had had it, that was for women that were miscarriaging, and it made all the children infertile. Smallpox vaccination in 1796. So this is the cycle of Pluto as well. Well, it lines up with the Saturn Jupiter conjunctions, the first smallpox outbreak. What year? Mad cow disease. That is what I want. Is the mad cow disease. So remember 1986. So that's a play on the 1989, and so it's after it's all begun since Earth, the Saturn Jupiter conjunctions in Earth. Okay, pretty much the same pictures afterwards. Stop that, and if I come over here I can go in the other direction. So I hope you saw my newsletter. I have an offer for everybody for 25% off that will go past it. It will probably be here somewhere. So I think we've done everything. I'm just going to add what I've written, and I think that I've said the most important things I want to say to you. So let me just remind you. Okay, yeah, this was an important post. What was that about? Yeah, that was for my Q&As on Monday nights. Le Bab, Le Bay is the heart. Taurus, the true heart mother. Taurus, the torso cow, Milky Way gap, snake. Mose cow is the Star of David, the 13th chakra. B13, Le B, Le Bab is killed, and Virgo the Virgin becomes the whore riding Leo, and the 7 signs above is the horizon. It is a necessary passage to become aware of the fall energy before you can leave matter mother, or the 7-headed heptagram. The horizon is her, Babylon, the whore of Babylon, riding the 7-headed beast. 3 sevens, the triple goddesses. So it's 37 L, and 777 is 21. The World Tarot card passage. The heart, earth, heart, obviously the 3 crane, Ukraine, fell, L. That was from something else, a capstone, obviously. So Babylon, also known as the Scarlet Woman, Great Mother of Abominations, is a goddess found in the occult system of Thelma, the Thelma and Louise, which was established in 1904 with, I think Madonna called herself Thelma too, with English author and occultist Aleister Crowley writing of the Book of Law, her name being later given in other works in her most abstract form. She represents the female sexual impulse and the liberated woman. In the creed of the Gnostic Mass, she is also identified with Mother Earth in her most fertile sense. At the same time, Crowley believed that Babylon had an earthly aspect in the form of the spiritual office, which could be filled by actual women, usually as a counterpart to its own identification as to Mega. So Megatherion, the great beast, is short for the female magician, which is the period of menopause. So you've got spring, the virgin, the mother, summer, and then you've got the Maga, the menopause, and then you go to the old hag. But you have to activate your ability to create after menopause, the great beast, whose duty was then to help manifest the energies of the current Aeon of Horus. He believed in his life the Lady of Babylon was personified as Lady Leah, who after several portraits was consecrated, taking the name Aleister. Okay, so it's the heptagram. So you've got Babylon, the 7 sides, and my church in our village is a red steeple and it's a heptagram. It's got 7 sides. Where is your heart? The inner person, emotions, mind, will, bowels, labab. The heart. So you've got Boeing 77, the Qatar Airways is B, that's 13777-300, A7 Bab. The seal of AA is a heptagram, which also adds up to 156. I personally have some theories on what AA stands for. There are 3 options for the 3 colleges. The Golden Dawn in Latin, Secrets of Secrets in Latin, Silver Star in Latin, Astra Major Acrum. Okay, and that's also, you have the alcoholic. So 21 is 777, to get her, 32 Pearls of Wisdom, the 7-pointed fairy star. All this is deeply covered in Patreon. There is the hat, the Seine. You've got the 16th arrondissement and the 7th. 1 and 6 is 7, and that is the 7 with the Eiffel Tower in the middle. That is an A. And you've got the Bab. So the elephants. Heptagram. And within the heptagram, you have the pentagram. So Leon Worth. Okay, I've lost my train of thought of that. I went very deep in on Monday for Patreon. So the Bab, Babylon, Rosemary's Bab, this new child, granddaughter of Andrew Baptem of Athena. Images. Red. Andrew at granddaughter's christening. So that happened yesterday. In a green Range Rover. Okay, so somewhere I read that we've got, who is Athena? We've also got Elizabeth Rose up. So 93, why did I put that there? You know, that is the same as the 93 department is Saint-Denis. Happy Lupercalia, the Whore of Babylon, the Holy Grail, Le Bab. A smart person makes important life decisions simply with their brain. A wise person includes their heart's input in all that they choose. So the Vesica Pisces, 37, the sigil of Lucifer is within the triple goddesses. Lucifer rising. And that is what's going on right now with gaslighting. Honey snoring behind me. So 77 and 93 departments is there. There you've got that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 makes up Paris. Okay. So I reckon I can end there. We're coming up to this new moon. And that is the next big thing, because this is going to set off all the rebels. It's going to be a better energy for us because we're coming out of that retrograde, but Mercury has now passed his shadow, but he's in Scorpio. But it's going to be a lot more of a fighting spirit, and then we're going to have Mercury go retrogrades. So after the Great Conjunction on the 20th of Neptune and Saturn. Neptune is there. Then, oh, no, not Uranus. Neptune. There's Neptune. So then we're going to have Mercury. Look at Mercury. He's going to come in and go retrograde again, exactly marking the spots where Saturn just did the same thing. Mercury works with Saturn, but you know, what energy are you rising? Are you falling for Jupiter on Sirius, back on Sirius? Mercury rules Gemini. Or are you, you know, this is Mercury and Venus will be on the other side of the sun. So this is the higher qualities of Mercury and Venus when they're on the other side of the sun. Saturn is, you know, it's still conjunct. So, and Mercury is going to go all the way back to Aquarius. And then I don't think Venus is going retrograde. She went retrograde the beginning of the year, I think. I would have to look, I can't remember. But then we're coming up to the big Mercury coming home to retrograde in Gemini as Jupiter enters Cancer, and that is going to be for Prince Willie's birthday, the summer solstice. Have Jack and Rose together again on the 6-9 année érotique. And then Mercury will begin to go retrograde. There he goes. Okay, darlings, so yeah, I'm going to end there. I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you my offer. Okay, internet is ramming a bit. So 25% off all services for all clients from the 1st of December to the 1st of January. The code is Christmas gift 25%. That's your code. So you just go along to my site. You do not need, look, everything is opening slowly. I don't know, it's Saturday night, everyone's on the computer. So it's taking time to upload, but you go and do that on your computers. And voila, my darlings, I'm going to leave. Oh yeah, I know what I want to ask you. I am going to start doing like 1 minute, 2 minutes, which is what I do already. Wherever I go, I take out my portable, whoever I meet, and I look at them on Stellarium. So all the poor people who live where I live, I'll go into the bar and I'll say, when's your birthday? And I will, in seconds, tell them who they are. And so I thought I would start doing that to bring in clients on Instagram. So if you would like to be one of those people, you just need to send me your date of birth and any particular question you want me to just zoom in on, and I will start to make these videos. It's my idea. Okay, my darlings, I'm going to leave you. Have a lovely Saturday night. Come and join us on Patreon. So I just opened Patreon. So yeah, we've got guest pool coming. This was my rundown 3 days ago of Neptune station. Oh yeah, Neptune went direct from tomorrow the 10th. And that was a huge article because you've got all mainstream saying that Neptune's going direct at the end, is ending in Neptune when it's only just beginning in Neptune. This is the cycle. You've got the cycle. This is Chiron. Chiron is the connection between Jupiter and Saturn and Uranus. It is your key to the higher mind. It is Mr. Tumnus that is retrogrades. Here, what dates? 3rd quarter, 11th. So here is Chiron, just exactly where they say Neptune is. Chiron, yeah, but 27. So he's on his way back. He's going to go retrograde. He will be back. So for this coming of the great conjunction on the 20th, I think I've pulled that Saturn Neptune conjunction. We can see on the 20th of February, we will have Chiron is still going to be in Pisces. So that is the big deception. Can you imagine? And they all say that Neptune is going to be back in Aries. No way, Jose. We are fully in the fog. Fully in the fog. Okay, my darlings, come along for readings. Come and join us on Patreon and send me a message just through Instagram or Facebook. Just send me a message and say, I would like you to do a quick little video on me that I will load onto Instagram. Okay, have a lovely weekend. Bye, my darlings. I love you. Bye.